There is a vicious race going on between the most powerful countries on the planet for critical minerals. And I'm not talking nutrition supplements, I'm talking about lithium and rare earth elements. They go into satellites, smartphones, your Tesla or whatever electric vehicle you're driving, and the most advanced weaponry on the planet. So there is a race going on with all the world's major powers trying to get their hands on it first. Critical minerals are more important than oil, and remember, the world has gone to war over oil. And right now, with rare earths, China is in the lead with almost 40% of the world's supply. China has been a masterful gatekeeper of this for decades. In 2022, the US government estimated that China has 60% of mine production, over 85% of just processing the rare earths, and over 90% of permanent magnet production. And that goes into everything. China has used this monopoly against Japan, the United States, and a whole bunch of other trading partners to get what they want, or at least to make things very difficult for the world if they don't get what they want. And the US is dependent on them, their number one competitor, for 70% of these rare earths. For lithium, not so much. They have 6% of reserves. The United States has 13%. Bolivia has the highest reserves, and China is much more friendly with them than the United States. But Argentina just became real friendly with America again, and their reserves are almost as high as Bolivia's. But lithium's just one mineral. There are 17 rare earths. What about them? The world is a big place, and the United States has a lot of leverage everywhere. America only packs 1/30 of China's reserves, but look who they're getting very chummy with. Vietnam, India, and Australia, well, they've already been friends for a long time. Vietnam has half the reserves of China, making them the number 2 rare earths holder. But their mining production is a fraction of what it should be. The US is working on boosting cooperation to get that mining production where it needs to be. The same goes with India, the 6th largest holder of rare earth reserves. Remember that India is the most populous country in the world, and China has a history of making these mini incursions all along their border. India doesn't want to have to rely on someone who keeps doing that to them. Then there's secret weapon Canada right here. 800,000 tons on that infographic are proven reserves, but they have been finding much more, up to 15 million tons of rare earth oxide, giving them almost as much as Vietnam. Now, it's going to take some time, but it still means that the West can shift their very vulnerable demands away from China. Wait a minute, isn't the US a big country? Where are their resources? Turns out we have a lot of our own supplies. There was a lithium deposit discovered in Arkansas that can supply all of the world's electric vehicle needs, and a deposit of 1 billion tons of rare earths, 15 out of the 17 that we need found in La Paz, Arizona. Another billion tons found at the Bear Lodge project in Wyoming. But even though these billions of tons sound great, we have to find out how much they have of rare earth oxides, because that's what's actually needed. But even still, Wyoming alone right now has 3 times the amount of reserves we just claimed last year. And look at that, over the past 30 years, the US has started steadily ramping up its rare earths production and started competing. Now, mineral independence from China isn't going to happen overnight. It will take years, maybe a decade or even more, but the ball is set in motion. It takes away a huge bargaining chip that China was able to play against the rest of the world. I am the Geo Hussar, and I don't want mandatory fund day to stitch any of my posts. Thanks for watching.